Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for inviting me in this very time being and important conference, international conference on plants and environment, arranged by Department of Botany, Giras Government College, in collaboration with Council for Green Revolution, Hyderabad, Department of Botany, Telangana University, Nizamabad. Personally, I don't know all of you, even though we didn't have any collaboration before. But this corona pandemic gave us the opportunity to come uh, forward and interact each other. So it's a blessing of corona pandemic. Though lots of people are suffering, lots of uh, losses we have, economic, physical, different types of losses we had. But fortunately, lots of things also we also gain from this corona pandemic. So I am basically a plant biotechnology person, and it's a better way to talk about plants. But today I choose a few other aspects rather than plants. This microbes in applied research, so where I will focus about plants as well. I was hearing from Mr. I forgot his name, but he's from Council for Green Revolution, and I really appreciate that what he had explained about their mission, vision, and what they are doing. Basically, they are doing a lot to make our planet green. So I appreciate that, and thank you so much for Council for Green Revolution for your kind and noble work, and I believe you will do more and more in future. First of all, I would like to introduce myself and my university. I am Abdullah Muhammad Shuhail, now professor, Department of Biotechnology and Genetic Engineering, Jahangirnagar University, Savar, Bangladesh. So, where is the university? Jahangirnagar University. Jahangirnagar University is a big university and public among the four autonomous university in Bangladesh. Jahangirnagar University, one of them. It's established in 1970 and public and co-educational. Our Chancellor, Honorable President, Mr. Abdul Hamid, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Farzana Islam. We have two Pro Vice Chancellor. We have around 700 academic staff, I mean faculty, students around 15,000. Its total campus area about 700 acres, 2.8 square kilometer, and it's located near Dhaka. From the center of Dhaka, it's 35 kilometers away, and from the airport, it's 22 kilometers away. So it's very relevant and it's very nice example to share with you. Our campus is full of green. Jahangirnagar University campus is a landmark of the university campus in Bangladesh. Every day, thousands of people just came here for visit. It's greenery, it's lake, it's migrated birds, and it's Jahangirnagar University trying to keep the natural conditions alive as well. Millions of tree plantations are there, natural and planted, and we have very good numbers of artificial lakes where in every winter season millions of birds they travel from different area. Here, please have a look. Then I am cordially inviting all of you, if you have any chance, to visit in Jahangirnagar University and also research collaboration with me as much as possible. I will very much interested to do that. So here are a few snapshots of our university campus, and recently we have several constructions and others work are going on. So it will be much more greener and nice campus very soon. Now about the microbiology and microbiologist. Around the globe, microbiologists are making a difference to our lives, ensuring food safety, disease prevention and treatments, green technology development, bioenergy production, GMO development. Uh, so, most importantly, they are working and they are doing a great job tracking the role of microbes in climate change. Where microbes are not present, actually, if answer this question is very difficult. Where present is better than say where it does not exist or does not present. Why study microbes? We live in a planet that is completely dominated by microorganisms. About half of the Earth's total biomass is entirely composed of microbes, whereas animals just make up about 1 per 1,000th of the total biomass. Our knowledge expanded and began studying microorganisms at the larger scope when next generation sequencing technologies and metagenomics appeared. Previous speaker, Dr. Sham, he was very nicely explained about the technique. That technique also useful for microbial studies or different types of microorganism study. What is our challenges and opportunity? In that case, I will explain both plants and microbes in together. First, I am going for plants. In plants, we are getting carbon dioxide, getting rid of carbon dioxide, and we are getting oxygen, but we can't feel that because it's very regular process of our life. But medicinal plants we are feeling every day because lots of disease and different types of health well-being, we are taking the medicinal plants raw or supplement or tablet or different types of form. So we know much about medicinal plants and their direct role in our daily life rather than getting oxygen, eliminating I mean, lowering the carbon dioxide, lowering the temperature. So we are directly involved getting the plant-based medicine, different types of crops, fruits, vegetables, and such and so. I am focusing about plant-based medicine production. In India is world leading medicinal plant producing country and they are supplying around the world various types of medicinal plants as a raw material, active ingredient. But we have few problems about cultivation, manufacturing, and marketing and distribution. What are those problems basically? Botanical characterization. So many plants, they are very useful, and as a consumer end, it's very difficult to recognize is which plant I am taking. So here, adulteration with wrong plant species very easy to do that. Field production, contamination, pathogenic threat, abiotic এবং biotic and abiotic other stresses are very much threatening for field production of medicinal plants. Environmental pollution, contamination with heavy metals, organics, herbicides, pesticides, crop nutrition, altered profile of medicinal metabolite. During manufacturing harvest, all plant materials are received to manufacturing facility at once. Loss of medicinal compounds when it dry, then degradation of medicinal compounds when long time storage occur, and filler, binders, and other processing is sometimes is very difficult. Marketing and distribution, exaggerated efficacy always distributed or publicized for the medicinal plant. So, what are the modern biotechnology can give solution to do that. This is cell culture, organ culture, and bioreactor culture could be could be an alternative of producing valuable medicinal plant in vitro more precisely and more controlled way. So here, if you have a look about a picture that is showing a very valuable medicinal plants growing in the Korea, China, and Japan, it's called ginseng. And I just came to know that India in Himalaya region, NBRI and maybe Assam University, they also got few ginseng species from the Himalaya belt, and they are now trying to establish those culture system in vitro and in bioreactor as well. So first of all, culture initiation, and then cell line selection, then go for suspension culture, small scale bioreactor, and finally go for commercial bioreactor. So this is the alternative way of producing very rare and expensive medicinal plants in a large scale production for commercial use. What other studies we usually do in our lab, and almost all of you here, you are listening, your lab also. So this is the those are the very common workflow that regularly all of we are doing. What are those? Like callus culture, or either directly selected plants. We go dried sample, or we do the callus culture, organ culture, go for flask culture, go for bioreactor culture, then harvest the fresh sample. We do antioxidant enzyme assay, secondary compound assay, or we collect the dried cell from direct from plant or from tissue culture derived plant and go for making powder and go for extraction. Then we purify the extract and do various types of phytochemical analysis, antimicrobial analysis, anti-diabetic, anti-helminthic, anti-thrombolytic analysis, free radical scavenging activity, antimicrobial as a nanoparticle synthesis. So lots of characterization also we do, FTIR, XDR, same spectroscopy, lots of things. Then in vivo study, a cytotoxicity test, cancer cell line using, or non-cancer cell line we do use. So these are the flow chart. And another workflow we do, this in silico work, different types of in silico work. I mean, if we don't have the laboratory facilities and if we know some known compounds, we can easily go for this ligand preparation, target identification, then protein preparation, energy minimization, receptor grid generation, molecular dynamic simulation, molecular docking, then pharmacokinetics like ADMET, QSR. So those studies we can do different types of target like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, neurodegenerative disease, different activities against different types of virus activities. Now I'd like to focus about the microbiological recent threat. All of us we aware about that coronavirus pandemic. So infectious disease like coronavirus disease are a global hazard that puts every nation and every person at risk in everywhere. Right now, nowhere is safe, nowhere is out of control of the corona. I mean, coronavirus spreaded everywhere around the world. I mean, only maybe space shuttle, it's a safer place right now. Otherwise, in the world, every corner, coronavirus spreaded. Where the mobility is there, coronavirus is there. The recent coronavirus outbreak is a prime example, knowing neither geographic nor political borders, often arriving silently and lethally. Microbial pathogens constitutes a grave threat to the health and human. Throughout history, humans have struggled to control both the causes and consequences of infectious disease, and we will continue to do so into the foreseeable futures. And our journey begins after this corona threat. started, and we are getting the benefits of different types of corona vaccine already within short period of time, less than a year. Some sorts of vaccine are here. So those are the microbiological, biotechnological research avenue we are getting that. So I am not highlighting those things, and this is the possible loss, and I am not also focusing also. What are other topics in microbiology that must we do in our daily research, or we should focus on? Number one, antimicrobial resistance, environmental microbiology, pathogenicity, and virulence. As far I know, in India, they are doing a tremendous progress working with those environmental microbiology, antimicrobial resistance, and pathogenicity and virulence resistant example. In so many, even though college labs and so many small institutes, small entrepreneurs, they are doing a good job of producing different types of products using several microorganisms for human well-being. Then biotechnology and synthetic biology, little bit high through output research and need much more investment, and getting the results is quite time consuming, and also scientific proofs are required. Studies of microbiomes and food biotechnology, that's also important, and this is very common aspect, and lots of efforts are going on getting the different improved food. Then, if we think microbial decomposition of organic matter, what is the contribution of microbial decomposition? Really, we can't imagine this effect without decomposition of what, even though today we cannot survive. I mean, if no organic matter decompose from the beginning of the civilization, I will rather say civilization, or the from the beginning of the Earth's history or our planet's history. So it would be stacked over the world. But Almighty gives those microorganisms a good job to decompose all organic residue and release the energy again, so that the energy cycle, different types of organic and inorganic cycles are continuing. So this planet is recycling their own product for their survival, for our survival and others. Human microbiomes, it's a huge subject, and we are living with those microbiomes. Lots of them are beneficial, very few are harmful, but most of them are beneficial. Plant microbiomes, marine microorganisms. So our studies are expanding, and we are getting benefits by utilizing those microorganisms, or by doing research on those microorganisms in our daily activities. Now we are characterizing different extended spectrum beta lactamase and metallo-beta lactamase genes of non-fermenting gram-negative bacteria, hospital sample, Suarez sample, different types of fecal sample or other sample. We are doing those for our betterment. I mean, microbes is giving is good benefits to us, and sometimes it also getting their abundance and frustrated us. So sometimes we need to control them. I mean, and for time being, and our, I will say, our different sorts of activities, I mean over activities, those microorganisms are getting much more competent of surviving, so that our regular antibiotics, those are not working. So we have to use fourth generation antibiotic, and some of them are still not responding against the fourth generation antibiotic as well. So this is the alarming situation, and our act should be minimized. We should think for green planet, we should think for green, then maybe those threats will be minimized day by day. So I will not focus much about the research activity, because I think here most of the students from the undergraduate level. So if you just see this, our study revealed that those high doses of antibiotic, actually those are resistant already, those bacteria already resistant. So lots of papers you will find from different labs, different research initiative, they are explaining about these threats. Food microbiology, it's one of our research about probiotics and yogurt sample and milk, fresh milk sample, and we studied that. Parallelly, we have two different aspects, as we got very nice active probiotic bacteria from the locally made yogurts. On the other hand, we also found so many threatening bacteria as well in the yogurt sample that could be sometimes causing the severe food poisoning and others. So we have to be clean, we have to be practicing well. I mean, food, good laboratory practice we have to follow, and good hygiene we have to maintain so that we can make our food safer. And also from the milk sample, we got different kinds of antibiotic from it, and antibiotic resistance is very, very alarming these days, not only Bangladesh, India, and other countries as well. And our another research on this health effect of street vending aloe vera juice. Though all of we know the effect of aloe vera juice in our health, but our study was about how much safe those juice from the leaf, I mean, leaf made juice in the street vending condition. When in the street vendor are preparing those juice and they are using another ingredients, water and other ingredients for preparing the juice, and how healthy at the final product that we are consuming. And here, eventually, we also got the very alarming situation and lots of alarming bacteria with their antibiotic sensitive and resistant strains also we find out from there. Then plant antimicrobial studies. This is simple flowchart. We first of all we choose known or unknown medicinal plants, then we go for metabolites extraction, I mean crude extract, then purify extract, then we go for compound identification if those plants are unknown plants. If known plants, then we validate the compounds and its efficacy. Then compound selection, we go for active ingredient selection, preparation, and go specifically antimicrobial studies in the selected microorganism. We go for good works. We do several plants and this antimicrobial study in our lab. Recently, we are doing different types of spices, different types of herbs, and different types of plants. So I will skip this part. Neoteric research direction, this is very important, and for making the green planet, it's I think very much unique, and this research is recent research and we should focus on that. Unique and common traits in mycorrhizal symbiosis. Mycorrhizal symbiosis is a natural process, natural way, and due to the symbiosis, lots of good effect to conserve natural biodiversity since the beginning of the Earth. I mean, this planet, green planet, when and this way they are surviving. Scientific knowledge gave us outlook, gave us the in-depth ideas how those symbiotic relationship works, how they are contributing, how much their contribution, and how much we can utilize those. So we are getting those information from the nature, and we are utilizing those environmental friendly mycorrhizal symbiosis in our enhancement of the production, reduction of the different types of pollution and such other ways. So it would be a new research direction that could we can focus in our daily research. Natural products of an actinobacteria in host microorganism and microorganism interaction. It's also new direction of the research, and from here we can isolate different novel genes. Those have different types of activities like pathogen, disease resistant activities, different types of nitrogen conservation activities, different phenolic compounds producing activities, medicinal activities. So we should explore different plants and their this microorganism interaction to get the better result from there. So common principles and best practice of engineering microbes. So recently genome editing and other tools, as Dr. Sham is very much expertise on this molecular validation or molecular tools. So he explained few tools here. So we can utilize those tools, and we can go our betterment, and we can enhance our research for that. Recently, all of you know about this CRISPR-Cas future neoteric research and innovation. This not only in microbes, not only in virus, so not only in others like plants, animals, and everywhere this CRISPR-Cas mediated genome editing or other genome editing is now flourishing. Although the spotlight on CRISPR-Cas system has shown on their immense potential as genome editing tools, the field's origins are rooted in the microbiology phase bacterium interaction. Furthering our understanding of this process can uncover more systems and generate a new reagents with revolutionary properties. So this research idea came from the natural microbiological process inside that microbes are doing since long time back. I mean, from the beginning of their evolution. Sorry. So application of CRISPR-Cas systems in establishing animal and cell models of human diseases, and you can see lots of progress around the world. Application of CRISPR-Cas system in disease diagnosis. Recently, even though corona diagnosis CRISPR-Cas system, an Indian developer, they developed the technique, this CRISPR-Cas system for diagnosis the COVID disease. Application of CRISPR-Cas system in genome scale screening, CRISPR-Cas system in gene therapy. So lots of uses right now ongoing, and lots of research are focusing about this CRISPR and their future aspect. We must learn not just how microorganisms, even though plants and others, affect climate change, including production and consumption of greenhouse gases, but also how they will be affected by climate change and other human activities. I mean, we are just thinking about climate change, but why climates are changing, we are not thinking much. Our thinking is we should change our thinking that climates we are changing, our activities are changing the climates because we are cutting the plants, forests, and biodiversity we are destroying for industrial revolution, production. We are filling out the natural water reservoirs. We are monoculturing different types of plants, monoculturing of aquaculture. We are doing that. In that way, sustainability reducing, biodiversity losing, and climates are changing. Agricultural and other human activities, they are affecting microorganisms directly. Industrial waste, livestock waste, and different types of this step farming and other farming we are doing, and this all residues we are throwing our mother nature, and those are very much harmful, and making the different types of microorganisms much more competent and much more vigorous, much more dangerous for our survival. Climate change exacerbates the impact of different sorts of pathogens, not on human pathogens, animal pathogens, fishery aquaculture pathogens, different crop pathogens. So right now, for the mobility to the around the world, because right now this world we cannot stop our mobility here and there, and then we are spreading those pathogens from here and there. Recently, all of you know that this wheat blast identified 3 years back in Bangladesh, and after that it spreaded in the India. What was the origin? Origin is not from South America. From South America, it traveled through here. So disease and those harmful microorganisms, they have no boundaries at all. They are moving everywhere. We should think. We should really, really think. So, in my final concluding remarks, we have to go green, we have to think green, we have to like green, and we have to act green. Reduce carbon emission for the sustainable green planet. And we should think and act positively to save our planet, protect our biodiversity, not by hypothetical, this reminder for me and all of you as well, because hypothetically we are thinking, we are doing lots of things, we are making lots of seminars, symposium, lots of government activities, but practically how much we are contributing, we should think about that. From every person, if we think, if we start working from our end, so our planet will be green very soon. We should not think government will do, we should not think NGOs will do, we should not think UN will do, we should think we have to do. When we have to do, then our planet will be green very soon. So many factors influence the balance of microbial greenhouse gas capture versus emission, include the biomes, the local environment, food web interactions, responses, and particularly anthropogenic climate change and other human activities. So we have to think, we have to act very fast, and it's prime time to act. So for those instance, right now, Science Portal Bangladesh is doing a great job here, and I am organizing this Science Portal Bangladesh. If you are interested, you can visit our Facebook page and also our website, scienceportalbd.org, and you will see we are trying to reach general people to make awareness for the green planet, zero carbon emission, and good scientific endeavors. We are trying to reach, or we are trying to transport those messages to the general people in their own language. So thank you so much. I am very much thankful to my university, my department, Biotechnology and Genetic Engineering, Ministry of Science and Technology, and other partner that really are helping us for making the progress about very tiny amount of research, because we are not high throughput researchers, we are very basic researchers, and we have very limited facilities for the research endeavor. But I am very much hopeful and interested to make active and fruitful collaboration with all of you, because we are doing very great job, and you are welcome to contact me for any kind of assistance. And I'm inviting all of you in Bangladesh in new normal situation, and also I'll be visiting your college and your institutes in future when new normal situation will be. Thank you so much. Thank you for your passion sharing. And I am sorry because I did some gibberish presentation here. I was so busy and it was very short notice. So I do apologize for that. Thank you so much.